Men are. Good morning, rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Sorry I'm late, guys. You know I should know better than to ever update your software. Never update your software on Windows. It will break everything, always, forever. But hey, guess what? I'm here. It's Monday. Things happen. At least you can hear me, right? My audio, is this thing on? Is Kamala Harris a communist? I think most people would agree. The answer is yes. More on that later. At 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to speak to John Miltimore, and he'll answer the question, is Kamala Harris a communist? Would a capitalist say something like this?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Said the capitalist. Oh, life is good under capitalism. Oh. Could this election be any starker in terms of the difference between the two candidates? I mean, certainly one is a much lighter shade of orange, if you know what I'm saying, right? But why is it, whenever I hear Democrats pretty much propose almost nearly any policy, except when they're copying Donald Trump's policy, it just reminds me of this.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yes, commie gobbledygook. You have that shirt over on the For Liberty shop. Hope you guys are doing well. SpaghettiOs. It's the Wake Up America show. AP, did you have to push, jump in, and pop the clutch to get her going? Kind of. What are you laughing at? Wake Up America show brought to you in part by people like you, but also from our sponsor, Preserve Gold. Want to give it up to them? Oh, Preserve Gold.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise.
Money-wise.
Please.
Can you suck
Please.
it?
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Can you... What?
Do not come.
Wait, what?
Do not come.
What is the
I'm
show?
going to come.
Oh. It's the Wake Up America show. And at 8 o'clock, we'll speak to Jonathan Miltimore. He's got an announcement to make. Ooh, what could it be? Can't wait to hear from him at 8. At 8:30 a.m. Central Time, guess who we're going to hear from? All the way in, well, it's kind of the misty mountains of the United States, if you think about it. Pennsylvania. I don't want to say it's sunny there. Cliff Maloney is ballot chasing out in Pennsylvania. I'm told he's bringing in hundreds of thousands of votes for Donald Trump and for the Republicans down ballot. It is the key state, the Keystone State, and Cliff Maloney is live from PA, giving us the updates. Where else are you going to hear about what's happening on the ground? But right here on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Speaking of the For Liberty Network, had a little meeting with Daniela Pensack this weekend, and I'm so excited. She was kind of giggling because I was showing her a little portion of everything that I touches will be her kingdom in the For Liberty Network. But I was showing her just kind of how one aspect of the process will work for her new show coming this fall, which the name will be announced very soon. And she was kind of giggling, and I was like, what are you laughing at? She's like, this is awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. You guys are so lucky that AP works so hard for his money to bring you amazing content. So click that like button. And if today is the first time that you're watching the Wake Up America show, how about a follow? If you like the content that you see today, don't just leave and walk away. Don't hit that X button, close it. I'm a real human being, G, and I have feelings. Gosh darn it, and people like me, right? No? Guys? Anybody there? I'm all alone in this studio, and sometimes it does feel lonely, but then I look down at the chat, and I see the people who are watching the show live, and I say to myself, these people are my friends, right? No. Yes. Many of you are. Many of you are like big-time donors and supporters of the show. You click like, you follow the channel, you read Austin's columns on AMP America and on Human Events. 2024 has turned out to be one of my most prolific years yet, coming up on 2-year anniversary of the Wake Up America show. And I even tangentially popped out a kid. Tangentially. You know what I'm saying? Oh, baby Hazel. She's looking beautiful. She's kind of getting so big now where she's like drinking like more, and we're having to add more and more ounces of milk to the bottles. And her belly just is so swelling and engorged, and she's pink and she's got gorgeous red hair, and I'm waiting to see if it's going to turn curly, and I'm just so excited about it. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. See if she's got curly hair. My sweet little redhead libertarian baby. I miss her so much every minute I'm away from her. Okay, so where are we going today? What are we doing? What's the show about? Is Kamala Harris a communist? Yes. She served in the Vietnam, but on the other side. Joe Biden is under investigation, or he's accused, of abuse of power, which, anybody can be accused of abuse of power. But he's also accused of things that might be considered crimes: obstruction and blistering House Republican impeachment report hours before his Democratic National Convention speech. And the Democratic National Convention has kicked off not with a bang, but with a whimper. Let's take a listen to the Democrats, how they are starting. The protests have begun, and there's fire and there's fury, and they sound like Dragon Force in the fire and flames. We are coming to take over the world. We are not Nazis. We hate fascists, right? Wait until you see how hardcore the Democrats are in this video upcoming. Just a warning, they're using lots of language, the satanic imagery. Here are the Democrats at the National Convention in Chicago. It's terrifying. Watch this. You fascists bound to lose. What? Hallelujah. Amen. Everybody. Oh my God. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose. You bound to lose. You bound to lose. You bound to lose. We could all rewrite this song and make it so much better, right? You bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. Right, let's really get into it this morning, right? How are we feeling today? Democrats kicked off the convention. But that wasn't the only musical rendition. They did get a little bit more serious later. Take a listen. Oh no.
My body, my choice, my body. So beautiful.
There we go.
My body,
Okay, pause. So Angelo messaged me and said, Austin, you screwed up. The audio wasn't there. See, I updated the software today, guys. Might be a little weirdness. I was rocking out. Well, I know. Camelia's messaging me now. 50 messages telling me, Austin, there was no audio. Thank you, guys. Yes, here it is. Here's the Democrat song. At least I was singing a little bit. I wasn't singing too poorly. Here it is. I do appreciate you guys letting me know. Oh, man, there he goes. You fascists bound to lose. Okay, pause. First of all, hilarious. Okay. So first of all, hilarious that song. Second of all, hilarious that I didn't realize the music was playing and I was dancing along like an idiot without any audio on there. Third of all, look at the guy here in this frame. You can see he brought like the Mr. Miyagi. He's got the Karate Kid drum there. Are you guys seeing this? Where's the one where, you know, Daniel-san teaches drum technique? But there's a guy I guess he wasn't getting enough sound out of the drum doing the typical drum technique. So he just, you know what? That's musicality right there. I'm not going to criticize him for playing an instrument in a different way. That's common in music. But I just love that, like, it can't be like an actual drum. He had to get like the 75-cent Mr. Miyagi drum from like the local Chinese store, the Chinese like gift shop. And then he's like, okay, so this drum doesn't obviously work well for this. So I get a stick and I've got to hit the drum with a stick. But good for you on improvising there. Guy on the banjo, I got to say 0 out of 10. Well, maybe not 0 out of a 10. I don't know that I could play like that. I mean, I do play the guitar. Maybe it'll translate a little bit, but like this guy, come on. When he goes in for his drum solo, you're like, oh my god. Did you hear somebody say, come on? Did you hear somebody say, come on? That is the worst. That's the worst. He was dying worse than I died this morning when I realized that the sound wasn't playing, okay? But I mean, hold on. You got to hear the come on really quick, okay? Because somebody's like, you know, here's the thing. There's probably a lot of musical theater majors out there. I'm just saying, they're Democrats. So there's a lot of musical theater majors out there. I mean, I know, because I was one, right? There's not enough laugh tracks in the world to cover all the goofs this morning, but let's not focus too much on the guy who sucked. But I just want to hear the come on from the musical theater major in the audience who heard him slay that. And when I say slay, I mean like destroy as in not good. Watch him destroy this banjo solo in some of the audience. Tells him, come on, listen for it. Come on! Come on! Oh no! No, but they weren't the only ones there. There were some other criminal offenders as well at the Democratic convention. That's just an example of the affluent white female liberal that is destroying this country. She has to be the center of attention at the convention, and so she gets up there and she's like the only one who's like moderately pretty, who's under 350 pounds and can play a little like ukulele or like classical guitar there. So watch, they're gonna give her center stage while the Antifa band, and they're all wearing masks. Could it be any more perfect? They're playing the freaking band. They're playing in the band and they're wearing masks. It is just, at least like give credit for like the under 350 pound Democrat female. She probably identifies as she, her, but well, take a listen to like the arrogance of getting up on stage and playing in this condition. All right, everybody sing this song that yes, like 5 of us do know.
My body, my choice, my choice, my body. My body, my choice, my choice, my body.
All right, everybody. My body, my choice, my choice, my body. This is all we got, yeah. My body, my choice, my choice, my body. Except when it comes to vaccines. Oh, yeah, we don't care about your body. We'll send you to die in a war. My body, my choice, your body, my choice, your wallet, my choice, my body. I'll use your money to pay for my body. Your choice, my choice, nobody's choice. We're under a fascist regime. We're actually authoritarians, the Antifa band. Yeah.
My body, my choice, my choice, my body. My body, my choice, my choice, my body. 2 more times.
Your wallet, my choice. I take your money at the DNC. Your wallet, my choice. I take your money. We're gonna raise your tax except for the tax on tips that we stole from Trump. 'Cause we wanna get elected. My body, your money. I take your money. With Kamala Harris, the commie. The Wake Up America show is in part brought to you by our friends over at Preserve Gold. If you enjoy the Wake Up America show, just think about the people who have already purchased from Preserve Gold, who are helping people like me to build the next generation of liberty media. When you're sitting here laughing, enjoying your morning, think about what it took for me to get here in the studio in the morning, wake up early, kiss my little baby goodbye, drive in here in the traffic, and kick some ass. 2 solid hours of ass in the mornings for you, and expand the network and bring you a merchandise shop. Preserve Gold is helping to make this happen, and you, the listener, the viewer, who knows damn good and well the value of gold, how important it is to have as a hedge in your portfolio, you are either already an owner of gold because you bought it from Preserve Gold, that's why they've stuck around for a while, or you just have at least texted in and said, hey, tell me more about how to invest in gold and silver. So when you're doing that, you're supporting the Wake Up America show. It makes a big difference, not just in our job and what I'm doing to try and make a liberty network, but it also helps me to feed my family and put milk in my baby's bottle. So for those who have already done it, I just want to say thank you. If you've been thinking about it, today's the day. Text the word liberty to 50505 right now. I know that you're saying to yourself, more marketing, but it is marketing with an actual outcome that you can see. It's happening in real time. I mean, consider where we were 2 years ago and where the show is today and what's coming and what's happening and how much entertainment it gives you. And then think if you had a little pile of gold sitting around. BX Bullet, she's been a regular guest in the show. She bought gold from me 2 years ago and realized that was a hugely smart decision. My friends over at Preserve Gold will answer any questions that you have. Text the word liberty to 50505. All right, you guys ready to get back to the DNC? Let's go. Gold and silver, by the way, Floby Tenderson. They also sell silver over there. Not everybody can afford gold. I totally understand that. But if you can, good idea. If you can't, silver is there. Who else have we got at the Democratic National Convention? I thought I saw a bunch of other weirdos. Oh, yeah, some lady jumped. Very Palestine. Some lady jumped up on stage acting like a freak. And, of course, she's wearing a mask. Take a listen.
Y'all can do better than that. Mike, the money!
150,000 people are dead. You are funding a genocide. The Harris-Biden administration keeps funding money to Israel.
An androgynous female who, wearing a mask, storms the stage at the DNC and screams, the 150,000 people are dying, you are committing genocide, which, if it's anybody's fault, let's just say it is Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's fault. Get them, DNCers! Right? Yes. Genocide Joe. Genocide Joe. Genocide Joe. Genocide Joe. Genocide. Can I get a Genocide Joe in the house? Genocide Joe. My name. It's like, what was the theme song for G.I. Joe? Genocide Joe, a real American zero. Harris and Waltz are coming for you. They're bringing communism and a bunch of whiny prudes. Yeah, these butt chunks out in the audience. The guys who were singing the song, not just my body, you're my choice, all those guys, but the banjo people and stuff like that. No wonder those people got rolled by Kamala Harris. No wonder those people, like the person who stormed the stage, those little limp-wristed, effete liberals, affluent liberals, completely out of touch. You could see this. These people are guided. The Democrats are guided by nothing but the urge to rule. They have no other identity outside of their politics. They are in identity politics. So for them, everything is about what their categorization is. I don't know about you, but I consider myself a libertarian, but it's kind of a loose thing, right? It's I'm not, I jokingly posted on X this morning, I'm not in any cults, you know what I'm saying? Which is something that people who are in cults would say, except maybe the Republican Party, you know what I'm saying, right? Courtney Conover donated $5 while I'm literally doing what you asked, which is, are you going to cover the pro-Palestine left protesting the convention? They've been posting photos of them outside. Even now, it's going to be vicious. Of course, baby. You know it wouldn't be the Wake Up America show if we weren't going to do that. We're going to enjoy all of the delicious commie gobbledygook that's going to come out of this week. It's going to be glorious.
But it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Thank you, Norm Macdonald. No, you're not. Yes, I am, Courtney, because I have the video right here. Hold on, wait. But before, Courtney, you're right. I'm not going to cover it in like this first 5 seconds because I have to play the picture of the DNC protesters dressed up as abortion pills. Hold on. Look. Listen, if I didn't think that my baby would catch hepatitis from one of these protesters, then I would totally just walk up to one of them and just put my baby in their arms. Not really, but I mean, put a baby in their arms. One of those throwaway babies that we don't care about. Put a Democrat baby in their arms. Grab a baby from the crowd because go get the baby that the Democrat has in the float, the stripper float, whatever is the most gayest baby that they have there in the throat, and just put the gay baby, in the arms of one of these women who are marching as the abortion pills, and just see how they react. I think it would be hilarious. Mighty Megatron asks, AP, have you seen all those lovely fences the DNC has put up to protect Heels Up and the Dem in Chicago to keep their lovely diversity, equity, inclusion out? Yet the border is free game. Interesting. Mighty Megatron. Not only do you make a good point, but you give money while doing it. You are, sir, a beautiful man. You blessed me money-wise.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Squeeze me. So what else? Oh, when you're making those donations, guys, don't forget you are unlocking the bonus content. You're on the way. I think it's about $7 towards the $60 goal, which is better than zero. Because what is 100% of zero? Zero. Thank you for the donations, guys. If we hit $60 by the end of the show, you'll see today's news story that I ain't got time for that to cover, that you can watch instead of commercials. It's a little mini documentary that goes behind the scenes, or it goes on the scenes, or tells the scene, sets the scene. What's the scene? The scene's the thing. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Any Shakespeare fans out there? Yes, sir. Only on the Wake Up America show. The play's the thing in which I'll catch the conscience of the king. Who can name what play is that from? And I will give you a kiss on the, cheek. Okay. Unless you're a girl, in which case I won't give you any kiss at all. I will stay away from you as I am Mike Pence rule. I love this lady's speech at the convention defending her murderer son, which you could kind of understand, but it's also funny about what she has to say about the Obamas and quite interesting. Take a listen.
My son is the person that allegedly killed Hydea Pendleton and the Obamas. The Obamas went and decided to tell the world that he was a monster and he needs to be in jail. Now, how can you get a fair trial if you have the Obamas and the Democratic Party that's trying to take away your son, and he didn't even do it? So my son was wrongfully convicted.
Who is Michael Ward? He's this is the mother of Michael Ward who's speaking. She claims that her son is a political prisoner. Michael Ward was convicted by a jury in 2018 for the 2013 shooting of 15-year-old Hydea Pendleton and sentenced to 84 years in prison. She blames the Obamas for the conviction for calling her son a monster. Pendleton performed at Barack Obama's second inauguration with her high school a week before she was killed. Well, I imagine Mr. Obama is not a fan of murderers. At least give him that. There's some harsh language in this clip. A young man approached a Pussy Hat protester and asked her some question about her Pussy Hats for Y'all shirt and sign. FYI, there will be some harsh language So if that's bad for you, or wherever you have like little pictures with big ears, you can turn down the volume right now for about 30 seconds to 1 minute.
It doesn't make you sound like any less of a misogynist. Get the fuck out of my face! You support killing women.
Killing
women die all the time from babies that are in their tubes that they're not supposed to be there. So if your wife has...
This woman looks like she's got hepatitis.
Statistically, that's a marginal percentage.
These people are diseased. They're syphilitic. They are, they're oversexed. They're undereducated. They're overstaffed. They're underfed, undernourished, and they're overeducated. What's the word for overly ignorant, and they're the scum of society, and they want to take charge of all of us. These are the people who want to control every decision that you make. The discussion about my body, my choice, of course, has always been a lie, because everything that the Democrats do is to control our bodies. Everything, every policy that they have controls us in some way. You're controlling my freedom in some way. You're controlling my body. You're stopping me from engaging in peaceful commerce, voluntary trade. You're stopping me at every level of the way from maximizing the potential of my body.
Freak?
Please don't scream at me. I haven't raised my voice.
I don't care if you didn't raise your voice. It doesn't make you sound like any less of a misogynist. Get the fuck out of my face!
Misogynist. So I love this. What's this guy right here? This total dope. So remember when I told you the Scott Adams quote, where I said that the Democrats are the party of women and of the men who are afraid of them. Now, here's the thing. Here it is, right there as an example. Here you have this woman screaming, foul-mouthed prostitute, shouting about abortion, and, you know, has had more sexual partners. You can see it in her face, even without being able to see her eyes, which are covered by these sunglasses, not just for identity purposes or to cover the sun, but probably to hide how gaunt she is from the amount of medications that she has to take in order to deal with all of the various symptoms of the diseases that she's contracted with her lifestyle. And you can see here, look at, Stephanie and I last night were watching Snow White. She had never seen maybe the old Disney version ever, so we watched it last night. Doesn't he look exactly like Dopey from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Am I right? You know, some people are saying that they can't hear the videos over on Rumble. It only looks like 2 or 3 people are having that problem, but so I can't really do any information on some people can hear it, some people can't. That's probably your settings, if that's the case. Andy Opperman, he said, AP, don't forget to add the men who tuck to that roll call of Democrats. Yes, good point, Andy. But here you see on the left, Dopey. Here's the woman of the Democratic Party. Here's the man who is afraid of her. Buy your own pussy hat, right? So there you are. It's a pussy hat convention, and you have there two pussies. And so Scott Adams, his criticism sticks. Now, I had the Palestine convention, the Palestine marchers for Courtney, who was asking if I was going to cover them, and here they are.
Free Palestine!
And U.S. aid to Israel. Okay, maybe something I could agree on. Only problem is that you also then want to kill all of the Jews. You want to kill the Jews, and yet you call us fascists. You always have to remember what's behind a sign when it comes to the Democrat. What's the old saying? It's beware Greeks bearing horses. So if you are looking at a sign from a Democratic rally and you say, I can agree with that, just remember that there's something inside. If you scratch the outside of the sign, see how red it is? Then underneath it, there's more. But wait, there's more. Get abortion pills by mail today is from the they them. I just really am enjoying too the mask wearing that's going on. Get your abortion pills. A lot of abortion talk today. Well, there you go. We can't all be beautiful, I guess. Wow, there you go. There's the Antifa. I like the keffiyeh right there. These are, well, you know what this is? These are failed parents here. See this? See these kids? How young a lot of these people are. These are failed parents back there. And back here in the back, you can see the parent that failed them. Or maybe it is the Republican grandpa who's just standing by, looking on and looking at them in disgust. The failures of the dregs of society. These people have no real world experience, no life experience, right? And they, many of them are semi-literate, right? They've gone through the public education system, right? And she's in art school, and he's, in a band, and lady over here isn't really into drugs, and this chick is into psychedelics and stuff. But the thing is that these people all want to tell us what to do. These people all want to tell us what to do. These are the people who want to rule over you. And see, this is why I say you can't not be involved in politics, because the price of not being involved is to be ruled over by your inferiors. Are you enjoying the show so far? Sorry it was late. Fact of the matter is, guys, is that sometimes software can be a little bit tricky. And this is a rough world, this streaming world, this podcasting world. I can tell you, it's dog eat dog, pod eat pod. And AP is going to do his best to always bring you the best show. Despite any technical glitches that we have, the show must go on. Am I right? Am I right? Right or wrong? Look, it's Liz, Mighty Megatron, Sidewalk Closed, John and KC, the lovely Mongoose87 hanging out with us, as well as Kill Sharian. You looking good today, Kill. Killer. Cecilia, you're not breaking my heart. Matt21632, he is Cyborg, says, that guy is very uncomfortable since he is outside of his comfy cuck chair. Well done, Matt. 21632. Are we human or are we robots? Tim Waltz. He is quite literally the sum of every white male in modern commercials. You know what I mean? The guy who is stupid white men in commercials. Have you noticed? Tim Waltz sort of checks off the boxes for that kind of safe, dumb white male Democrat. They think that they can go ahead and get voters who are saying to themselves, I'm a Democrat, but I really need to vote for a white male. You know what I'm talking about? Those Democrats, they're still around, remember? We had to fight them in a bloody civil war once. Well, they figure that if they can put out Tim Waltz, he needs to meet all of the sort of standards and expectations of a white male. So the radical leftist Democrats who hate white men and want to destroy them, they have allowed a white man onto the ticket in order to get Kamala Harris across the finish line. But if they're going to have someone like Tim Waltz, the governor of Minnesota, on the VP slot, he has to meet all of those standard tropes that we all see nowadays on television in terms of commercials that feature stupid white men in commercials. He is quite literally the sum of every white male in modern commercials, writes Bow-Tied Ranger. He is always the fool. He always plays the subordinate role. He's also a fat dad. You'll frequently see men like Tim Waltz featured in commercials as a bumbling customer, right? He doesn't know what to do at the store, and then this dumb idiot just happens to have a beautiful smoking hot wife who happens to solve all of his problems, right? That's what Tim Waltz is. He's also the ignorant questioner. They say there is no such thing as a stupid question, but somehow when Democrats write commercials these days, they manage to write men like Tim Waltz who will ask stupid questions at the wrong times in order to display their ignorance and that they don't know what's going on. And of course, the white male trope that you will frequently see in commercials these days. The cynical inquirer, right? Nothing's going good, but I'm asking you about it, and it's cynical, and we're a cynical inquirer. All of the tropes. He's cynical, right? Right, there is no hope. And he's asking questions. He's an inquirer. Oh, he's so aloof. Tim Waltz, he's just so aloof, right? He's above it all, this Tim Waltz, right? Except he's actually a doofus and the last thing we need anywhere near the White House. Can I get an amen? How about a Rumble rant? I like this X account. It's one of my favorite. White men are stupid in commercials. 10 minutes from now, we're going to speak to another stupid white man, John Miltimore. Just kidding, John, if you're tuning in. Just kidding. He's got a big announcement to make. But I pulled some of my favorite recent commercials that came out showing characters like Tim Waltz.
Wow. Blue link unlock my husband's Kona.
Thanks, babe. Introducing the SUV that's big on tech. You should see the moon tonight.
Are you serious?
The first ever Hyundai Kona.
Okay, so it's a Hyundai Kona ad, and the white man is an idiot, and the wife is an astronaut, and she can even unlock his car from space because he's so stupid that he forgot the keys, but she's literally an astronaut. Here's another stupid white man in commercial. This is a Tim Waltz type character, right?
Back to Earth. Thanks, it was pretty life-changing. Dude, it was 8.5 minutes. I didn't even get to finish my burrito.
Technology lets you vacation in space, but to get work done,
The young dullard.
You need CDW.
So with the Cisco hybrid work environment, we can deliver the same network experience to all your offices, securely connecting your team from anywhere. Houston, we have a solution.
We get it, Greg. You've been to space.
Cisco makes hybrid work possible.
There it is. This young dullard didn't finish his burrito. And then you have this white idiot with his stupid boots on making dumb jokes about spaghetti. And then look how confident the DEI hire is. Look, get the DEI hire in. Everything they do is perfect and beautiful. But white men, they are stupid in commercials. Like Tim Waltz is stupid in commercials. Now here they actually made a white chick look stupid. Chubby white lady.
Just for something not too crazy. Remember, it's a business dinner, not a costume party.
On the Spotty Network, this is what she heard.
Just for something crazy. Remember, it's a costume party. Costume party. Yes.
Don't trust first impressions to just...
Chubby white lady had bad internet, right? Yes. White people are stupid in videos. I don't know why I found this funny, but this is J.D. Vance from the 1990s, and people are turning him into retro memes. And so this is a 90s retro meme of J.D. Vance. Invited you to check out his new game on Xbox. What is the new game? It's Halo. I would totally play Halo with J.D. Vance. Yeah, Halo. Hell yeah. Are you enjoying the Wake Up America show? Are you not entertained? Click that like button. If it's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, click the follow button as well. It takes a lot of energy to do shows like these, high energy shows like these at 7:54 a.m. Central Time in Missouri, Jefferson City, where the Wake Up America show streams live. How are we doing today? Anybody feeling good? Feeling good, feeling good. Cecilia donated $5, said, so Tim Walz is Biden, but can walk and talk. Very good, Cecilia. Here comes John Miltimore. We'll be right back. Is Kamala Harris a commie? John Miltimore will answer that in a very, I'm sure, completely reasonable way while I try and goad him and pick at his insecurities. No, just kidding. He's going to join us. He's got a big announcement to make. Don't go away. Be right back on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
Cantina crew, this is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter, and I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian, and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways?
Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Welcome back to the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad and thankful to have you here. Click the like button. Today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, then we hope that you will enjoy it. And if you do, click the follow button and come back and join us. The regular schedule for the Wake Up America show is Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. Be a regular guest. Hang out with the chat. It's a lot of fun. And we stick to a schedule. Mondays means Mondays with Miltimore, but he's not John Miltimore from the Foundation for Economic Education. No, he got a big upgrade recently, and he'll drop the news for you live right now. Good morning, John Miltimore from not the Foundation of Economic Education. Somebody got a big promotion. What's up, brother?
Gig over at AIER.
You're over at AIER, John. Thank you very much for joining us today, and congratulations on the new position over at the American Institute for Economic Research. A little tough name to say, but
I was going to say that my only complaint is we got to fix that acronym. I can't spit it out myself half the time.
I know. I remember I used to work at an institution that had a little boring kind of like the Citizens for a Sound Economy. And it was like, shut up, nerds. And so they eventually just rebranded themselves FreedomWorks. But then FreedomWorks went belly up. So I don't know that sometimes a name really matters as much as the work that you're doing, right?
I believe that, but the good part is we also have a rebrand going on. You don't need to go into it, but it is the Daily Economy, and it'll be an independent page and everything, and I'll be the editor of that. So it's great. And I think the Daily Economy, comes off the tongue a bit easier than AIER.
Yes. Well, at your old, as an alumni of that institution, I could say I've been a student there, and I took classes in advanced Austrian economics. Spent a week there at the mansion when they still had the mansion where Rothbard and Hayek, I think, taught. Maybe Mises taught at that building. I can't remember, but I do remember the class that I took, which talked about the economic history of the 20th century. They talked a lot about communism, the history of communism and the policies of communism. It's not just a band name. It's not just a lefty trope. It's a serious school of political philosophy, which tends to be willing to use violence, typically violence through the state, in order to do things like plan an economy, plan our lives, but to do so according to an egalitarian style kind of a footprint. They're a little different from fascists in certain ways and how they create the hierarchies. The controversy I'm asking you, building up to this question, John, the question I want to ask you is when Donald Trump posts a picture of Kamala Harris in front of a communist flag, and people are out there, oh, she's a communist, she's not a communist. Everything that I have seen from her, other than the policies she's copied from Trump, like no taxes on tip, I think she is a communist. Do you think she's a communist? Is that fair or unfair, John?
No, well, here's the thing. There's two ways to look at this. And well, first off, I think Catherine Rampell over the Washington Post made a great point. She said, when your opponents are accusing you of communism, maybe don't, propose federal price controls. And Rampell's no conservative. She's no libertarian. She just has a modicum of economic sense and common sense and says, like, what is she thinking? This is a ridiculous policy. And to get back to your initial question, there's two ways to look at this, right? Like you could say, is she a Marxist in the sense of like a Trotsky who was, intellectually well-versed and looked at the Communist Manifesto very much like a Bible and Marx as, he was a disciple of Marx? Or is, she more in the mold of a Hugo Chavez who's more of a left-leaning populist who didn't really care about quoting Marx so much and didn't look at the manifesto so much as a Bible, but was more interested in what socialism offered as far as a message to the people that he could carry. And I think history shows there's not much of a difference there, right? It didn't matter that Chavez didn't walk around quoting Marx, in the same way that Trotsky did. And even go back to like Stalin. Stalin was a Marxist, but he wasn't like Trotsky where he believed this stuff deeply. Stalin was very interested in power, and he saw the power of, that's what drew him to Marxism. And so whether or not Harris is, the latter or the former, I don't think it matters. Her policies are deeply rooted in socialism, and the result will be the same if we pursue that path.
I read a story the other day about Joseph Stalin, just as a side note. Apparently, after he became the head of the Soviet Union, he went and visited his mother and said, "Look, Mom, I've become the most powerful man in the world." And she says, "You should have become a priest." Disappointed.
Good answer from Mom.
Yeah, honestly. Do a lot less damage that way. But it's funny because, John, in this conversation about who is a communist and who is not a communist, I mean, not to sound like an elitist, arrogant son of a bitch, but the truth is that a lot of people, they do use these terms and they don't have any clue what they're saying. So what's annoying is that you will get Republicans and right-wingers and conservatives and even some libertarians sometimes. I say a lot of times just because I see them, up close in my feed all the time. But they don't know what communism really means. They don't know what socialism means. And so we kind of get lumped in with them, and it's like, there's level 1 politics and there's level 10 politics when it comes to your understanding of what these systems really are. And yeah, you should put in the homework. Not everybody has the time to do that, John, to sit around and do it. That's why they turn to shows and listen to people, pundits like you and I. They expect us to have done our homework. But it does suck when Republicans are like, yeah, we're against socialists. And then the Democrats can be like, hey, didn't Richard Nixon impose some price controls? And you're like, womp womp.
I'm working on a piece really like that, because here's my thing. I think, Harris is rightly getting attacked for this by the right people, mostly.
Yes.
But will this help her or hurt her in the election? And I go back to Nixon, because Nixon knew damn well his price controls wouldn't work. If you listen to the tapes, Nixon was aware that his price controls were going to be harmful. He didn't care, because he was doing it before the election, because he really he sensed they were going to be popular. He was right, and he went through that. Like he did this before he was elected. So I think there's this idea like these policies can be politically effective, even if they're economically harmful, because voters they tend to be very ignorant of economics, and they like, which is how we get here, right? How when you have people proposing all this free stuff, like voters like that, and it's not just Kamala Harris doing that, right? Like, yeah, on the GOP side, we hear all this stuff, like some of Trump's proposals are like, oh, the federal government's going to be building cities, and you hear all this stuff. Like, what is this? Like, I get that it's election season, and what we're supposed to do is just promise we're going to do all these things, and voters, like, when they hear all these promises, they're like, yay.
The government building cities reminds me of China, reminds me of communist China. It's central planning, right? If it's not communism, John, it's very clearly socialism, right? They want to seize the means of production, and regardless of how you feel about something like patents, as a libertarian or an anarchist, what have you, we could debate that all day long. But when you hear someone like Kamala Harris get up on stage, I've got the clip, I'll play it a little later, of Kamala Harris saying, we will snatch their patents. And we can do that. Where's the cackle button, She's very clearly willing. She's, been a prosecutor. She's very clearly willing to take our shit by force. She says she's gonna take our guns. I believe her. I believe her.
Yeah, and I will say, like, one of your listeners had a great comment in the and he said, well, I don't know if it's technically communism. It sounds more like fascism, and we don't use that term a lot because everyone's a fascist today. Like, everybody just calls each other fascists. But if you look at really the traditional definition of fascism, how it differed from communism was like, yeah, we're going to kind of have this private sector, and we're going to leave it alone as far to the extent that it works, but we're going to control it, right? We're going to take from it when we want and make you do what we
yes,
want.
and John, this is how we arrive at the mixed economy, Keynesianism, which is a little socialism, a little marketism. And you kind of get where, like, it seems as if all the countries of the world are sort of heading towards this system because, Chinese communism, while they are very heavily communistic in many ways that the United States is not and has freer markets, they still sort of run the same playbook. They're opening up some markets in order to get some capitalism so they can actually build their economy. But then they're building all these empty cities, these empty concrete cities that nobody can live in because they don't know where population wants to live at a certain time because cities come from the ground up and productive people who want to live and work in a certain region. We don't need to get into the history of that. But the fact is, John, is that when you look at what these people say and what they do, down the line, you will find communistic policies in their platform. I mean, here's the thing. When Kamala Harris says, I don't want to tax the tip of workers, like, I just think it's bullshit. I don't believe them just because their record is always something completely the opposite. They put the policies they put in place when it isn't number one abortion, sacrificing literal babies, right? And whatever cult that they worship at. Um, it's always some more control. It's always control of the means of production. I'm going to snatch this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to, they never use the word steal, but they do say socialize, don't they?
No, they do. And I think the big mistake people make is thinking these politicians actually have deeply held convictions on these ideas. I don't think they do. I think that what they're going to do is they're going to propose policies that they do all the political testing and polling and say, oh, this message really appeals to our base. And they're going to pitch those ideas. They're not interested in the philosophy behind those ideas. They're not even interested in the long-term consequences. What they're doing is trying to pitch ideas to voters that was going to help them get elected.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I actually would probably give credit to somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, like as brainless as she is. She probably is a little more motivated by ideology, which really only makes her more dangerous. I mean, if you think about some of the people on the squad, for example, right? We love to paint these people as doofuses, but they get elected by a majority of their constituents, so you can't fault their savvy. Someone like Ilhan Omar, she has an ideology. It's a political Islamic ideology that she advances, and there are many ideologues in the Democratic Party. It's funny because at the top,
And in the Republican Party too, like
sure,
like ideas matter to some of these
it's just
people,
our
but
ideologues
ultimately
are better
they
than
want to
theirs.
they want to stay in. It's true. I mean, generally, yeah, I think there's more people on the Republican side that have the right ideas, especially on economics, than on the left. But ultimately, even those principles and ideas will probably give way if it means keeping that seat.
Yes, I've seen it over and over. I've always been a big fan of term limits, and despite the myriad of positive criticisms I hear for not having term limits, I tend to think that it's a better thing on average than it is. It's a good thing more than it is a bad thing.
I tend
But
to agree, but
mm,
the counterpoint I've often heard, and there is credence to this, is that it will strengthen the bureaucratic state. Because a lot of the only people in Washington that can push back on the bureaucratic state are these senators that have been there 35 years and know the landscape, and that they can nip them in the bud
yeah.
when they're getting out of hand.
Well, maybe this is a good conversation on itself. But really, if you look at the situation this fall, let's say Kamala Harris wins. And people who are like, I'm not voting for Trump on whatever principle ground, like I understand, like, but even you, John, like, the courts, for the love of God, the only thing standing in the way of a takeover by the radical left, by the woke left, who want to cancel you and I from our payment processing systems that help someone like me literally have a life, that could debank me and prevent me from being able to have my freedom of speech as I have right now. Without the judges that get picked by the president of the United States, people like you and I, like, we're not long for this world, pal. Because I'll tell you, the legislature, our fellow American citizens don't look like they're waking up to. And I see 170 people over on rumble.com. I don't know how many over on X are awake this morning, but I mean, friends of freedom are few and far between. And if we had Donald Trump as president of the United States, at least we could get a few judges. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm not trying to put all my eggs in one basket there, but it's kind of the only bulwark we have against tyranny right now, isn't it?
I appreciate the sentiment you're offering and understand where it comes from. But it's a little funny coming from you because you were somebody in 2016 that was taking the very opposite approach. You
I
were
was
running for
wrong.
president,
I
and
was
you knew you weren't going to
wrong.
win.
I
But
was wrong. I was
okay,
wrong about Trump. I was wrong about how he would govern, but it's because he lied. He said he was going to do some socialist things that he didn't end up doing, and the libertarian things that he did pissed off all the conservatives in the Republican Party that are big government Republicans that I don't like, and I really enjoy what Donald Trump has to say and do for this country. So, I ran, yeah, not because I was going to win, but because I have principles. My principles are the same as they were, but my tactics have changed greatly, John. And certainly protecting and preserving the integrity of a right-wing court system seems to be in the interest of every libertarian, even those like you who have bones to pick with him.
yeah, no, and I don't mind. Like when people tell me they're voting for Trump, with the libertarians, I don't mind. I just think if we take your approach to its logical, end, you won't have any third party candidates, right? Because the third party candidates won't have because everyone says, well, I got to vote for the one that's gonna, I got to be practical here in my vote, and they don't have a chance to win, so I'm going to vote for either a Democrat or a Republican. And I think there is a case to be made for voting for the candidate you think is best, even if that candidate has less than a 0.5% chance of winning.
Right. Like I said, even when Kyle Rittenhouse came out and said he wasn't going to, vote for Trump because of, his myriad, taboo things he said about guns, which I definitely agree with Kyle Rittenhouse about, and said he's going to vote for Ron Paul. You don't begrudge somebody like their vote.
No,
That is their
I,
vote.
I
They're
really
right as they please.
I thought that was shameful the way the MAGA people came out and just piled on Kyle Rittenhouse for just saying, like, yeah, if he wants to write in Ron Paul, he should write in Ron Paul. And I thought the treatment of him was really deplorable.
Well, to some
He
extent, it was deplorable in my mind because it was cultish behavior. But
yeah,
but here's the thing: Donald Trump did a lot. He stuck his neck out for him.
I understand that.
And that it's a dick move. What Kyle did was a dick move. And I also think Kyle's actually being a little manipulated. He's a very young guy. And there's a lot of people that operate just like we talk about how the left has all these industries on for their issues that are perpetual outrage machines. Not that we don't need people always being fighting for our Second Amendment rights and our gun rights, but they are a special interest. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So the right and even libertarians, we even have our own special interests. There are a lot of people who are terrified of speaking out against, some prominent libertarians, right? They're terrified of what happens. Like we have our own little cliques and
Yes, we do.
our own little shit kingdoms that we lord over and, spit in each other's faces and, and act
Our
like
own dogmas, our own sacred cows, and
our
when
own
people got
cults.
up, they come and pile on. Like I've seen it. It's
Cults
happened
of
to me.
personality. Yep. Oh yeah, hell yeah, cults of personality. I
Yeah.
can't tell you, I mean, how many times I've clashed with people just because I had the audacity to say, well, yeah, they're pretty good, but I disagree with them on this. But it's like their word is like the word of God. Like there's some libertarian Bible out there, right? And
Yeah,
I get it.
mine came after Donald Rumsfeld died. Um, I said it was unseemly the way people were dancing on his grave because there was a lot just celebrating. And I'm like, you don't have to like Rumsfeld, you don't have to agree with his policies. And I look back and I think Rumsfeld did a lot of damage to his country with where he took us in Iraq.
I
But I
agree.
don't like that behavior. And oh boy, I got piled on over that.
Well,
But that was
too, the
that's
problem
years
is
ago.
that here's the thing. Like most of these people couldn't hold Donald Rumsfeld's water. This is a man who could operate at the highest levels and the highest capacity. And so the most of the problem is, and this is what we're facing here, if Donald Trump does win, right? The libertarian in the cabinet, remember when he appeared in front of the Libertarian National Convention and promised a cabinet level position? I kind of sniggered, if you will, snorted, perhaps you could say, because I just look around at our peers and I'm considering who could really pass a Senate hearing to get to a cabinet level position. And even that, who has the experience? I could name 4 or 5 people if I really think about it, like, Patrick Byrne, the chair of Overstock CEO, perhaps, or, maybe a couple of other people who have been titans of industry to some extent, perhaps Vivek Ramaswamy or something. But we are pitifully short. So when I see people criticizing in such a way, sometimes I'm like, yeah, there is that aspect of like, don't be a monster. And you're a Christian, so you have certain feelings about death that I may not share. certain of your feelings. Like, I certainly will dance on the grave of Joseph Stalin or Adolf Hitler, if you will. But somebody like Rumsfeld is such a complicated character that it's easy to just dismiss him with the typical antiwar.com, our special interest, right? If you criticize, if you have any position outside of what antiwar.com has, then for the love of God, you're a statist, warmongering, neocon, Ryan, whatever, at the end of the day. So the cultishness that happened when Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked, yeah, it's stupid. But we emulate it as well in our movement. But also, there's no loyalty, right? So it's like the problem is that in order for us to accomplish things, I can't save the world by myself running for president as a libertarian in 2016. You got to have reinforcements and backup. And I'll be honest, John, not a lot of people showed up. More people showed up for the Senate campaign, but not enough. And a lot of the big names in the movement didn't get behind me. And I'll tell you this, John, I'll never forget that. Not that, I'm not like harboring like bitter, deep resentments or anything, but at the end of the day, the thing about Trump and his party and his MAGA Republicans is these people know how to get shit done. They know how to kick ass, take names, and get balls down the field in 2 or 3 yards to make a first down. And I'm looking at my peers, and it's pretty wretched what many of us are capable of accomplishing, except for a very, very, very small list of a few who might be able to take a position in Trump's government if he can win, because he can win and we can't. What do you say to that rant?
No, I think Trump has shown he's an effective politician, and a fairly ruthless one, right? Like he can get things done, and he kind of embraces the left's mentality of win at all costs, right? We will demean our opponent, we will attack them, we will do whatever we have to. The left is better at hiding it. They do these things, but they're not as transparent. Trump is an authentic, transparent guy, so he's just telling you and showing you exactly what he is. And yeah, like if you're just trying to win elections and try to get some good
Not
idea
just no,
through,
don't. That's unfair. Don't be unfair to me, John. If you're just trying to win elections, because that's not what's
you didn't let
happening
me
here.
finish the statement. You didn't let me finish it.
You already qualified the
win
statement.
elections and get some good policy through the right judges. Yeah, those are the things you're trying to do. But yeah, there's a line,
you damn me with faint praise.
That was not my intention. And like I said, you're trying to win elections. You're trying to get the better, the lesser of evils. I get it. I understand that.
You damn right. Because you know why? Because what Thomas Sowell said.
Let me finish my one point though.
Okay,
I do not want Kamala Harris to win. I'm very clear on that point. And would I prefer a Trump presidency? Yes, I would. But as an individual, I have to make my choice. Like, do I vote for the lesser of two evils or not? And I voted for the man twice. And so and what I saw when he refused to leave and was hosting this big thing, I said to me, that's he's gone too far. I don't like that. I don't like when we lose and just saying I was cheated, and screaming at the top of his lungs and refusing to go. I said, you know what, I'm not going to vote for the guy again. And so I don't want to lie to myself later. I don't want to say like, well, I said I spent 4 years saying I wouldn't vote for Trump and then go vote for him again. I don't want to.
There are no solutions, only trade-offs.
I get it.
Okay, John. John, this was fun. It's always fun to spar with you a little bit in the morning.
I love it.
Okay, you come on every Monday. We call it Mondays with Miltimore. You've got a new gig now, but you'll still be able to join us for Mondays with Miltimore, right? So you're still game. Good. No spitting allowed at your new institution. I see it says no spitting.
Oh, I forgot. My wife put that sign back up. My mother bought that. Yeah, she gave me a little brass spittoon, like an old cowboy one, and a sign over it. But I didn't realize it was on my wall. I'll have to get my AIER background like I did with Fee. I just haven't got it.
John, is there anything that we missed in this discussion, or maybe I cut you off very rudely after you damn me with faint praise? but anything that we missed today, or anything you'd like to promote?
No, I think I love the lively conversation. I do have a piece on AIER that went up last week on, kind of the whole John Deere and tractor, is it Tractor Supply? Yeah. Like the whole pullback from, like these companies are waking up and saying, you know what, maybe embracing, social activism and woke ideology is a good thing. I did kind of a deep dive on that, and it's worth checking out. So if you make your way over to AIER.org today, you can find that piece there.
Great. That sounds good. John Miltimore from the American Institute for Economic Research. Now, we're glad to have you and glad to be aware that you will be with us for Mondays with Miltimore. We appreciate it. You're the man, John. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Hey, great seeing you again, Austin. Take care, man.
Have a good one. Follow him over on x.com at Miltimore79. He's a great follower and great writer and great guest on the Wake Up America show. So appreciate that very much. John Miltimore, one more time. Click the likes. Give me the likes. I want you to click that like button. And if it's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, please donate some cash to the show to help us to grow. If it's your first time here, give us all of your money right now. Damn it, we're Kamala Harris and we're redistributing your wealth right now. Give me all your money. We've raised $22 towards the $60 goal for today. That's not bad. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who should we eliminate? Join the Wake Up America show's community by clicking the follow button. And we are not just the Wake Up America show. Starting this fall, we will be the For Liberty Network. Yes, I'm growing. Malignant. It's not a tumor. It's the Wake Up America show's For Liberty Network with 2 brand new shows coming this fall. You don't want to miss those. So when you click the follow button, you'll hear more news about what's happening about the new podcast coming to the network with more young stars. Very exciting. Also, check out the For Liberty website's e-commerce store. It's our grift shop, if you will. The grift shop. What? You don't think that these shows just come out of nowhere, do you?
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
You think that Wake Up America shows just grow on trees? No, they're funded by people like you. Heading over to forlibertyshop.com, joining the revolution, grabbing yourself some awesome merch. I've been producing so much awesome new merch over at For Liberty Shop. Some new patriotic merch drops every single day that if you're not checking it every single day, you're missing out. So add forlibertyshop.com to your favorites. Bookmark it on your browser so that whenever you're free and you want to see what's new at the shop, you just get to For Liberty Shop, number 4, libertyshop.com. That's the grift shop, as we call it. Thank you. Pennsylvania, it's a key state for the election, one of the swing states that could go either way, but whoever wins Pennsylvania is very likely to become the next president of the United States. Cliff Maloney is heading out there. What is he doing? He's chasing ballots. He's live on the ground in Pennsylvania, and he's coming to a show near you. This show, the Wake Up America show. We haven't unlocked the bonus content, so it's commercials for you. If you want to unlock the content and watch the mini documentary instead of these commercials, ho hum. Get those Rumble Rant donations in right now, or go to forlibertyshop.com. We'll be right back with Cliff Maloney on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Ha ha! Booyakasha!
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.
Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us live or listening to us later on the audio version. If you're a listener on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts on the audio version later, this is a shout out especially for you. And if you're watching us live and you're like, hey, you guys have got an audio version. Yeah, you can download it on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you like. If you like Austin Peterson, if you like me a lot, then why don't you just open up the podcast on iTunes right now and then click give me a 5-star review. If you write something really nice, it's basically putting money in my pocket, pretty much for free. So why don't you give us 5 stars over on iTunes? Let people know, let the world know that you watched the Wake Up America show. Why would you let people know? Well, it's because they can be just as informed about what's happening in the world of politics and in culture, just like you are. And well, you know, we're going to heal the world, make it a better place, right? Like Michael Jackson. He's the Michael Jackson of politics. Cliff Maloney joining us live right now from Pennsylvania. Ow, Shamon, Cliff. You're a bad man, and it's nice to see you. Billie Jean is not your lover. Welcome to the show, Cliff.
Austin, appreciate you having me. Congrats on being a papa. Very excited for you and Steffi.
Thank you very much. Another redheaded libertarian girl for the world we have gifted. You're welcome to the world, we say. But yes, thank you, Cliff. We appreciate that. Excited to hear about what's going on out in Pennsylvania. I really have hope for this election because of what you guys are doing out there. And I see the inroads that you're making with people like Scott Pressler at the RNC. And I'm like, yeah, we got a liberty guy who is helping to make liberty win in the big way. What's going on out there, Cliff? Give us a broad overview. And then also a second part of the question, is Kamala Harris a communist? Go.
Let me answer the second part by saying yes. It's clear as day. We can argue socialist versus communist every day, but she's about as far left or far authoritarian as the viewers of this show are much more ideologically deep, we will say. So yes, the answer to that is absolutely. Pennsylvania's ground zero. You know, I'm here. We're at the PHA's headquarters. Folks can check us out at phas.com. This is the most important state You don't believe it? Ask Nate Silver. I want to share this number with your fans, Austin. Nate Silver, whether you hate him, whether you love him, a good statistician, he puts out now that Pennsylvania is the top ranked most important state to win the election. He ranks it at 96.1% that if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he will be president. That to me is why we are over the target. It's why you're seeing the Democrats pouring tens, if not hundreds of millions into Pennsylvania. I mean, I turn on the TV, it is wall to wall of Kamala Harris and just blasting Donald Trump and JD Vance. And so that's the battle we're in. We have a message war here for the next 80 days. Who is Kamala Harris? And that's the question that both Republicans are trying to answer. And obviously Democrats are trying to rewrite history, right? They're running as far away from the record as they can. And look, I got to tell you, if she actually pulls this off, I will have lost most of my faith in humanity, because everything she stands for, everything she's done, the record, the inflation, the border, all of it is a very easy choice to vote against it. This is a referendum on the Biden-Harris administration. And so I don't want to say I don't have hope in the people, but I'm doing everything I can on the ground here in Pennsylvania to make sure we pull off a win and take back the White House.
If we're both political guys, kind of, I won't say necessarily insiders, we're kind of the outsider's insider to some extent, right? We're very heavily grassroots. We get people like you and I, we get our power from the people. We're not, owned by shady donors who are telling us what to do all the time, right? We're kind of ideologues. We believe in something, right? And, we consider ourselves to be freedom fighters. So, sometimes because we're so professional, it can seem almost as if like we might be wearing a mask. But I'm going to take mine off completely right here, and I'm just going to tell you, like, professionalism or not, I'm kind of freaking out, man. I'm kind of scared when I see these polls. Cliff, are you kind of like, oh my God, are you feeling a little bit of the jitters?
Yeah, I mean, honeymoons are not supposed to, last 3 weeks, right? At a certain point, you have to have a coming back to reality, and I don't think we've had that yet. And I think they'll have another week of this DNC where, it's just going to be kind of rainbows and unicorns and no questions from the press. It's pretty miraculous. I give the Democrats a lot of credit. And as I always say, Democrats are serious people, right? We look at a lot of this as a hobby or a passion project. To them, this is power, right? This is access. This is leverage. This is money. And so they're very good at what they do. And I think that is the battle, is how do we level the playing field by defining who Kamala Harris is? And I think it's not an easy task, because the Democrats will just gaslight us and act like she hasn't let in millions of people as the borders are. She hasn't had, increases in prices, not just on gas, but on groceries. I mean, you look at her record, and I think a lot of Republicans right now are messaging correctly, but you have to be disciplined, right? Focus on the border, focus on the pocketbook. Those are the two major things that you have to talk about. And obviously things come with the border, like the fentanyl crisis that is just completely riddling our towns across the US. I mean, that's why I still think JD Vance is a great choice. So I think you have to get back to talking about the issues. The problem is we've been saying that for a month. And I don't mean that like all Republicans are failing, but yeah, Austin, I'm scared to death too, right? For her to be polling neck and neck in Pennsylvania, I mean, it's tough for me to get up in the morning and say, wow, we're going to dominate here. We're going to win by 10 points. That's not the current situation. And so, yes, we're deploying 120 people on September 1. This is my Super Bowl, right? We're getting ramped up. We're pumped up. We're knocking 500,000 doors, chasing Republican ballots. And for all those out there, thinking back to 2020, I still want to always tell your viewers this number. Trump lost PA by 80,000 votes, but 141,000 Republicans requested a mail-in ballot and never sent it back. That's the problem we have to fix. Are they going to run up the score in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh? Absolutely. If they get another chance with a pandemic, are they going to change the rules so that it helps one party over the other? Absolutely. Are they going to gaslight anybody that says, hey, there might be fraud, or this might be stealing an election? Oh, you can't say that. You changed all the rules. What are you talking about? If they do all of that again, we're going to solve the problem of those 141,000 Republicans that didn't get their ballots sent back. We've never chased ballots before on the right. That changes with the PHAs. Would love folks to help out. PHAs.com.
Cliff, another question from the audience. Joni this morning was asking if you could talk a little bit about the Pennsylvania vote, historically speaking, so that we can understand, where has the state been, especially recent history. Talk to us a little bit just about the makeup electorally of the state.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty neck and neck. I will share with you on voter registrations. In 2020, Democrats had an over 700,000 voter registration advantage to Republicans. Well, now that's down to about 300,000. So we've cut that in half. So if you're just looking at that and you're thinking about the fact that we lost by 80,000 in 2020, you should be optimistic. Let's look at previous elections. Okay, Trump won in 16, but he lost it in 20. In 16, it was obviously a nail biter. Same thing in 2020. But then you do have huge swings. The governor's race, Josh Shapiro won by double digits, when Oz on the same ballot lost by less than a point, with Fetterman winning. So Pennsylvania is a bellwether state. It can go a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different communities. There's a lot of people that are inspired and not inspired by certain types of politicians, certain types of issues. But the problem now, Austin, and this is for Joni, you have to adapt to the rules. The rules are different. If you don't adapt to the rules, there's no way to compete. Republicans statewide are averaging 20% of all mail-in ballots compared to Democrats 20 to 80. So when you talk about past elections, since 2020, we're averaging 20%. And all we're saying through the PHAs is if we get that 20% to 33%, we can't lose the state. We've solved the problem. Are we going to get there? I don't know, but it's a bold goal. We could win with 26 or 27% of the mail-in ballot portions. But if we get to 33%, we win the state. The Democrats adapted to the rules. We refuse to. That changes in 2024.
Do you believe that if Kamala Harris loses, that they will have a peaceful transfer of power?
I do. I like to try to stay optimistic about things like that. I would not be surprised if we had issues. But at the end of the day, I mean, Democrats, when they rally, they burn cities to the ground. When Republicans rally, it can get real serious real quick. I mean, Republicans don't rally, right? I mean, people want to say J6, they want to talk about these things, but the left has been known to mobilize and cause distress and civil unrest and disorder.
Well, that's
I'd like to think
my
that
fear
Trump,
when I look at the DNC, for example. It's just funny because most of what I've seen has been kind of like crappy hippie banjo art songs that they've been playing. So I don't really know. These aren't the Occupy Wall Street protesters like back in the day who actually could take pepper spray to the face. I really think that these are kids who fall over if you question their gender or if you use the wrong pronoun. You could see, you can see why they got rolled by Kamala Harris in the takeover when the left forced Joe Biden out in what I actually think was kind of a coup. I don't know about you, but when I see and hear about how Joe Biden was essentially threatened, that it feels very undemocratic to just say, the guy's like, I'm not leaving. And then they're like, Nancy Pelosi is like, he's leaving. It's like,
yeah,
who's in charge? I guess there's my next question. Why is Joe Biden still president of the United States right now? I mean, who's really in charge? And I guess why didn't Kamala Harris just take over?
Yeah, no, we're definitely either living in a simulation or we are being played a horrible, horrible joke. But I do think that the world is upside down. Everything the Democrats complain about or warn about when it comes to Republicans, it seems as if that's them. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I think the honeymoon period is going to end, and I think we got to get to work. That's how we win this election.
Yeah, it's just a shame because sometimes you don't realize just how powerful the enemy can be sometimes that you're taking on, as I've fought many Sisyphean battles, right? Rolling rocks up hills and, also taking on sometimes bitten off a little more than I can chew, perhaps, Cliff, if you, as you know from my history. But when I see how powerful the media is, Cliff, it's easy to get discouraged because the left is just like so easily programmable. This is why we call them NPCs. And you see the stupidity, and they're like, we need more democracy. And it's like, yo, no, we do not. It's like, populism is in vogue right now, but to say we're not a democracy is inherently elitist, right? To some extent, we got to protect the electoral college. No matter what happens this election, Cliff, we got to protect the electoral college, right, man?
Yeah, and I think what you're saying about the media is spot on. I think the one thing people are missing is Elon Musk. I don't think I even understand just how powerful it is that him owning X and creating a platform where you have an alternative. You've got great places like Rumble. I think that there is enough of an audience that gives me hope that we're not all dealing with Zuckerbucks and these types of, kind of, I would say reprogramming, but just the entire algorithms. I feel as if there are a lot more folks that are going to get straight news. They're going to hear things that are the truth. I have a lot of hope for that with alternative media, shows like your show, other things that people are able to tap into something that back in 2020, sure, it was on the rise. But there's a lot of people I know now, and not just young people, people middle ages, older ages, who are listening to podcasts, who are watching web shows. I think that that's a big deal. And I do think that it's going to make a huge difference because, I mean, even, you saw Kamala Harris's campaign put out, they're paying people thousands of dollars to be these celebrity influencers. And as they say in the House of Cards, when the tit's that big, everybody gets in line. And it's the truth. These folks line up, they're at the trough, and they want to get paid, and they're cashing in. Unfortunately, they're cashing in for the destruction of our country, and they'll probably never realize that until it's too late.
Yeah, it is sad. I saw that Shepard Fairey, the guy that did the famous Obama Hope poster, did one for Kamala, and it's kind of like, dude, you're a street artist. Like you commit crimes like for a living, and it's like this is, and then he's going out supporting like the Kamala Harris, like the DNC shill through a undemocratic process that they advanced her and stuff like that. It's like the left is like they're the biggest sellouts in the universe. You know what I mean? Like it's just a shame. But these are our fellow Americans. We have to deal with them. Cliff, the Pennsylvania chase. The Pennsylvania chase, the project that you've worked on, if we win this election, I'm going to be thinking about Cliff because I'm going to know that if we win Pennsylvania, that you get like 5% of the credit or like 8% of the credit. There's a lot of good people doing good work out there, Cliff, but you're definitely one of them.
Well, I appreciate that, AP. Listen, I think at the end of the day, as a math guy, I'd like to look at the numbers and see. I'm a big believer in there are a lot of problems out there, but there are simple solutions, right? When we identified this number of 141,000 Republicans who requested the dang ballot and said, oops, I forgot to send it back. Well, how did that happen, right? Let's dig in here. And it's like, well, nobody talked to them, right? And so the Democrats actually have a higher percentage return rate. Yes, they vote astronomically more by mail, 20 to 80% when you look at the totals. But think about this. They have a return rate 10% greater than the GOP. That's the whole election, right? You got to fix that. So, yes, there are plenty of great groups, Turning Point Action, Early Vote Action, what we're doing with Citizens Alliance for the PA Chase, a lot of great partners out there, and you have to have that. By the way, the left has about 20 of these groups in each of the swing states, right? People are like, we need to unify. We're all partners. We're all talking. We're all sharing data legally, right? The left has an extra 17 groups. So we're adapting, we're getting there, but I just tell people this is the new model. The RNC and the DNC don't chase ballots. The presidential campaigns, they don't chase ballots. 501c3s, 501c4s, the big dark money groups, that the left uses, guess what? That's the new model. And so we have to adapt to that. Would I love some shade in a good way if we win PA? Yes, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a joint effort between all these groups, between all the candidates, both federal and local. But let's look at the numbers. What was the impact of the doors that we chased ballots at versus the doors that we didn't? What was the percentage, Republican to Democrat? And I'm the one guy. I've been embarrassed before. I've done projects, they fell flat.
I've done projects that have been huge successes across the country. I'm hoping this one's in that second category. But you need to be bold, you have to be held accountable, and you need to be transparent about what you're trying to do. That way you can be honest with your supporters, honest with the voters, honest with the activists. And when you do that, I find you come up with some better results.
Cliff Maloney's out on the front lines doing the yeoman's work of advancing the ideas that you and I believe in, the principles of liberty. If you agree with me that we need less government, more freedom, and if the only path this fall's election goes through Donald Trump, then this is the guy that you want to be talking to find out what's happening out there at the front. Cliff Maloney is getting his hands dirty, and we hope that he comes back with a big fat trophy. And if he does, of course, he'll be the prom king, and of course, we will all praise his name. Cliff, I'm really proud of what you're doing out there, no matter what happens, just because there are very few people, there are a lot of people who talk about these principles, very few people willing to put their name to sign on the line that is dotted, Cliff. So I guess that just means that, to use another metaphor, that your name shall be written in the book of life, and you shall go to a libertarian heaven if there is one. Cliff, I'll see you there, hopefully. Hopefully. I might go to hell. Cliff, have a good one, brother. Where can people find the website to go support your cause?
PHACE.com, on X @Maloney. If folks can, September 1, we deploy 120 people. It costs $175 a day to sponsor a full day of ballot chasing. But September 1, we launch. We're ready to go. We've got our 10 Airbnbs. PHACE.com. Let's do the work and let's win.
His mission is righteous. He's Cliff Maloney. Give him a round of applause. He shall go to heaven. Thanks, Cliff. Oh. All right. What a great show. The Wake Up America shows seems like it flew by. Well, it's because a lot of stuff got screwed up in the beginning. They updated the software. They added a new mixer. There's a whole bunch of things. The bugs have to be worked out. We do our best. Sometimes we have little glitches, but we just go on. And I try and just, act like it's fine. Meanwhile, I'm sweating, running on a gerbil wheel. We didn't unlock the bonus content for the first time ever. Aww. I get it. Listen, I know Joe Biden's economy destroying us. I get it. And, I am a little pushy when it comes to my advertisements, and Austin's always asking. I get it. We can't always hit the goals. I did want you to see this. The way that the live bonus content works is that if we don't hit the donation total, then it goes away forever.
No,
so,
God!
I am sorry.
No, God, please, no!
We raised $37 towards the $60 goal, though. That's not bad. Thank you for participating, and thank you for all who signed up. Tomorrow we'll have some fresh bonus content for you guys, so that way you won't miss the bonus content, right? You remember also, Mighty Megatron is reminding us, you started late today, AP, so that didn't help with the bonus content. Ooh, makes a really good point there. Yikes. Austin, boo. Can we burn it? Asks Lucas Liz. I have no idea what you're asking. I was going to go buy something if we hadn't said Ursula. Well, you have a few minutes at least as I do my outro. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Somebody made an order. Wow. $54.70 towards the $60 goal. Wow, that's so close. Wow, that's very close. That would mean only $6 more to go. Wow. I don't know. Do you think somebody would donate $6 as a Rumble rant or make a purchase at the shop? Floby Tennyson says, hey, there's 7 minutes left. Wait 30 seconds. Nancy will come through. LOL. Floby, can't always... We keep going back to the same well all the time, but of course we do appreciate Nancy's generous contributions to the Wake Up America show. She certainly has been a hero. Give her up. They say, well, if you want to extend it for a minute or two. Well, we do have a minute or two. As a matter of fact, it shows a few minutes left on the stream. So, as a matter of fact, I did have one little piece of content that I can share with you in the short term. Let's see. Oh, apparently Kamala Harris is in a scuffle, or she's in a scandal, a Doritos scandal. This is what I'm reading this morning that's trending now live. Vice President Kamala Harris was filmed at a Sheetz convenience store in Pennsylvania attempting to buy Doritos. The event was staged and filmed multiple times to appear authentic, but inconsistencies were noted, such as Harris already holding a bag of Doritos when another was handed to her. This incident led to widespread discussions and memes online, with critics questioning the veracity of Kamala Harris's claims that she was organically buying Doritos at the shop. You tell me. Here's the video of Kamala Harris with the bag of Doritos. You tell me if it looks like she's organically buying them on her own. Here we go.
Doritos. Huh? Ah, Dougie, there they are. Yeah. Thank you.
I know you want those.
Oh, Tim Harris. Oh, wow. Tim Waltz. He's buying Doritos too. Look, everybody.
Isn't this it?
Yeah, that's
the big.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yes, we're here to buy Doritos. I see your rants, guys. You unlocked the bonus content. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I will play the bonus content for you as we head out this morning into our day. Sorry for all the technical stuff today, guys. Just was bonkers with the new board, and I shouldn't have updated the software. It just never update your software if you do a live stream. Just always keep one laptop that is the same and never change anything on it. And that's the lesson of live streaming, right? Upgrade, upgrade. Yeah, so Tim Waltz, Kamala Harris buying Doritos. That's the controversy of the day. Was it fake? Was it staged? I guess I'll have to leave it to you. I just saw the video for the first time ever as well, so that I could tap dance and wait to play you guys the bonus content as we head out. Love you guys. Thanks for all your support. An unbroken streak of unlocking the bonus content. You guys had me worried there for a minute. Don't forget to exit to the Grift Shop at forlibertyshop.com, guys. Enjoy the bonus content. We'll see you guys here tomorrow on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
The Wake Up America shows both her shoes and bags, sparking outrage. The term tranny is considered defamatory by many trans individuals, according to GLAAD, leading to significant criticism. Some fans defended Lively, suggesting the term was more commonly used in the past, but acknowledged she could have chosen better words. Others understood her sentiment, but agreed the wording was inappropriate, given the sensitivities around trans issues today. Lively previously used the slur in a 2009 Allure interview, discussing her insecurities on the Gossip Girl set, adding more fuel to the fire. In the Allure interview, she described feeling like a tranny due to her height and appearance, which she felt contrasted with her petite co-stars. This ongoing backlash comes amid her press tour for It Ends With Us, and an alleged feud with co-star Justin Baldoni. In another instance, Lively used the slur during a 2008 Nylon interview, dismissing feud rumors with her Gossip Girl co-star. Lively joked about rumors, saying the cast was rumored to be men and trannies, further complicating her public image. Her representatives have not responded to requests for comment.